How's it going, y'all? Welcome back to the Gil Podcast. This podcast is about me, Gil, and the things that I'm currently obsessed with. On today's episode, I'm doing a throwback episode from an old podcast that me and my wife had called Our Moments. I haven't done a love series podcast in a while, and I do owe y'all one, so here it is. And it is the quintessential top shelf love podcast because my wife is on the podcast with me. The podcast was great. It was called Our Moments. 2 episodes were actually went live. The 2 other ones were like pilot episodes, so we kind of like took them off because my wife is not a podcaster, so we just had to like work her way up to it. But all in all, my wife is amazing. She's super honest, doesn't hold anything back, as y'all hear in this podcast. It's amazing just to hear her talk about our marriage in that way, because a lot of people, it's interesting because I can talk about my relationship with my wife and it's like, yeah, of course you're going to say all the positive things, but it's one thing to actually hear my wife talk about, our relationship together and the stories that we have. It just makes it so much better. All right, hope y'all enjoy it, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. Peace. Hey, babe.
Hello.
How are you?
I am well, and yourself?
I am super happy that I can sit next to you looking all happy and beautiful with your long hair.
You are obsessed with my hair.
I'm obsessed with you.
You are. I think I'm obsessed with you a little bit, just maybe not as much as you.
Mm-hmm.
And not in the way that I can show it on the internet like you, because I'm not really on the internet like that.
Well, you make breakfast for me every morning. That's a bit obsessive.
True, and I take
you
random
care.
pictures of you, bending down, picking shit up, standing on the stairs, looking weird, looking at shit weird, looking at Lola, walking Lola. Remember that time I took a picture of you walking Lola in the backyard?
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is another episode of Our Moments, where we sit down and talk about moments in time in our relationship. Marriage, friendship, breakups, togetherness, separateness, argumentness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Getting carried awayness.
So I feel like the first episode we got to talk about how we started dating and stuff like that, but let's talk about the marriage story, because when we got married, it was a bit of a chaotic experience.
Well, like they always say, the first year of marriage is always the hardest. And our first year of marriage was just bizarre. Not bizarre, just because we weren't living on our own. We were living with people. It just made the experience a little more unusual, I would say.
It was hard to enjoy
each other's company, I guess.
Yeah. But, I love the company that we had.
That's true.
I still love Anton. He was amazing.
You still love Anton?
Yeah, it's my boy.
Oh, so you love Anton?
It's my boy.
Don't change that.
What?
It's okay.
Don't change what?
I still love you.
Oh, my God. You and this stupid joke.
Anyways,
but yeah,
that's another story, I guess.
He was a great roommate, a great friend still.
And he just came out of nowhere.
He was in Port St.
Boom,
Lucie.
we got married. Boom, I had a childhood friend I've never heard of. Boom.
You have heard of him.
Babe, you've never mentioned Anton while we were only together for what, a year, 2 years before we got married?
Yeah.
No, boom, he's back down here now.
He was in Port St. Lucie.
He needs a place to stay. And it's like, okay. And boom, there it is.
Yeah.
Thanks, Anton. It's okay, I forgive you.
Yeah, he was like, I need a place. No, he was like, I'm coming from Port St. Lucie, moving away from my parents. I'm like, yo, I got a 2-bedroom apartment, but my wife's cousin lives here. Yeah, I'll just sleep on the couch. And he slept on the couch for how long?
Not long. They were together by the end of the weekend.
No,
I'm just playing.
No, it was like a month or 2.
It was a couple of months in.
Yeah,
I'm not sure the specifics, but they got together pretty quick. Yeah.
That wasn't the goal.
Anyways, that's not about them.
It's not about them.
Back to us.
That's their moment. Anyway.
That's no longer a moment.
That's true.
Anyway, moving on. I feel like that was too much information that's not our information to share.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh
Somebody's
my God.
going to enjoy that. But
or not
when we first got married,
Sorry,
the wedding was small.
The wedding was very small.
55 people.
Your close relatives,
None of my close friends.
None of your close friends, including Anton.
None of them. Nobody was there.
Some of my friends, well, my only two friends.
Why didn't I invite anybody? And the thing is that I didn't know, but it's like I didn't know how weddings work.
I didn't really care for it. I still don't.
It was like, oh, I forgot. You have to invite your friends. I thought y'all just knew.
My mom had to beg me to get a wedding dress. Mm-hmm. And of course, I went and rented a dress, and you had to get a tux.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't make any sense. Because I wanted to just put on my favorite dress that I had at the time and, do it at the pastor's house. I remember texting the pastor, Pastor Jean, but like, I really don't care for this. Can we just do this in your living room and please my mother? Because she was like the main nagging person, like, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way. Even the reception was done by her prayer group ladies, which I was so grateful for because I didn't know what I was gonna feed these people. I really didn't care for it.
Who knows how to do a wedding? Like, you just go to weddings and you study it?
A lot of people, though. A lot of girls, they dream about their best
You're
wedding.
Not a girl?
I'm an anomaly when it comes to that. All the girly stuff. I really didn't care for it. And I always say that. I'm like, man, we just rushed through that because it was something to do at the time. The way we did it was just weird. And I still think about it. I always think about like on our 10th year anniversary.
10th year anniversary.
10th year anniversary or the 20th year anniversary. We can do it the proper way, get a planner and, plan it out if COVID don't kill everyone we know. Actually do a wedding like a wedding is supposed to be done. Then again, eventually I'd get over my, I won't say fear of people, but just my lack of people person. And, do something better than what we did.
But fuck people. Like, they have nothing to do with us.
I know, but especially family. Like, there's still a lot of your families that are still like, all in their feelings about not even knowing you were getting married.
That's weird.
My family
the thing is, like,
too,
who knows how to do a wedding? Like, we're 21, 23 years old, getting married.
Were we really that young?
Yeah, I was 21 when I got married. When we got married.
You were 21, I was 22.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, what were we thinking?
We're just thinking of each other.
Not me.
No?
I was thinking I need to get on with my life and get this over with, honestly.
I was like, oh, I guess this is what people do when they're in love. I'm like,
get married.
Just get married.
Yeah, that really didn't matter to me at all. I feel like we'd still be here and, be us. Married. Even if we weren't married. To me, it's just a piece of paper.
What about taking the last name? That was a thing that people are very shocked about.
Yeah, they still are.
Yeah, the fact
and I'm like, I still have my last name. Don't mean I don't love him, as much as I'm supposed to love him.
Can you explain the idea of why you wanted to keep your last name?
Honestly, it was just all about the paperwork. I spent my whole life filling out paperwork for my mom when she has to do shit. Paperwork for myself when I have to do shit. I just really wanted to avoid that.
Yeah.
And honestly, it never mattered to me that I still had my last name and never took yours.
It didn't bother me at all. Like, people are like, your wife doesn't have your last name.
Why does it not bother you?
Why does it not bother you? You're not a man? I'm like, bro, she doesn't need my last name for me to.
Right. I feel like I'm still equally obsessed with you and equally codependent. It wouldn't have changed anything. Like, you walk out the door, I still worry the same amount of worry. Lord knows I do, especially now. It's just like, where the fuck are you going at 11 o'clock at night right now?
Yeah, there'd be times I'm just like randomly, I'm in the mood, especially when I started photography. I was just leaving the house.
I need to go shoot the moonlight. It's so beautiful, babe.
At 3 a.m. at its highest peak, the witching hour.
Yeah, sit your ass down. Anyways,
speaking of photography, can we talk about that? the journey of jumping into photography.
A $20 camera that started it all.
$20 camera that's sitting right there that started it all. That got all this thing in the motion. $20 turned into $35,000.
Is it really that much?
No, it's not that much.
I feel like it's a lot more because
I don't think
your equipments are expensive, but dude, I mean, you do get gigs. Thank God for that. But Jesus, I fear that if somebody breaks into this place one of these days, they're gonna get away with a lot of shit.
I need to learn how to set up like automatic guns to shoot people.
You're funny.
Biometric scanner failed to recognize you, sir. Attack mode. But yeah, let's talk about the photography. Do you remember the first thing that I asked you to like get and invest in? You remember what it was?
D something 50 camera. Yeah, that was the camera. Because you bought that camera.
No, it was the lens. It was $220. It was $200.
The red one?
The red one. Yeah,
really?
It was $200.
It wasn't the other D whatever camera?
No, and you were like, babe, how do you know? It was the lens and it was a battery. The batteries were like $17. And then you're like, how do you know the camera works? I'm like, listen, the camera works. It just needs a lens and it needs a battery. And you were like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And
I'm always the one to like be cautious about our spending. Even now, I'm like, took us that long to get the Rodecaster Pro.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yeah, you don't really need that though, babe. Like, this is just a lot of money. To me, it's always a lot of money.
It's really not though.
Even my own mother is like, you are too cheap. You need to stop that.
But that lens was the first one, and then got another one because I needed a longer lens. The longer one was cheaper. It was a black. Remember, it was a red one first, and I got the black one. And then the thing is, I couldn't shoot gigs with that camera. Like you can, it works fine. I've done gigs, but I could never get a client to shoot that tiny white camera with the red lens
because it didn't look.
It didn't look professional.
Serious.
It didn't look. It looked like a toy. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's a really good camera, I still use it today. But
then we got the D, not the 750.
No,
the 750 came like much later.
That's when we got the house.
D3 something.
D3200.
D3200.
Yeah, and I kept shooting at D3200 from 2014, right? 2014 till 2017.
Oh yeah, wow! Yep. You were very specific with time.
Yeah, because that was when we were in Breezes, and then we moved so as soon as we got the D3200, we moved to Boynton. And Boynton, that's when I really started shooting because I started going on Craigslist.
Yeah, you were getting a lot of shoots.
Yeah, not paid. Most of them not paid, but event shoots. I was getting a lot of event shoots.
Yeah, event shoots.
But the models, not really paid models. But the D3200 was a camera that I was shooting for so long. Like because we got the D750 when we got the house, right?
Did we get the camera before that?
No, we got the D750 in 2018.
Are you sure?
I remember. It was 2018 when we got the D750. So I've only had it for like 2 years.
Wow. We've had the house longer.
We had the house longer.
Jesus.
Hell, that's crazy. And then that camera, I started shooting. I photographed Rick Ross. And
your pictures got a lot better with that camera.
Got a lot better.
So much better.
Because it's not more expensive. It's a full frame camera. And I kept explaining to you, babe, I need this full frame. And you're like... Blah, blah, blah.
All I'm here is money spent. Spending money.
But at least you get to see the difference.
Yeah, I do. It's a lot different.
Started shooting. This is not a tech podcast, but I want to get to, when did you feel like this was an investment? Did you ever feel like this is an investment?
Oh, your business? Honestly, at the beginning, no. No, not at all. I thought it was just going to be this hobby that you got into. I mean, you were really always into photoshopping things, even way back when, photoshopping yourself into random things, your friends, Malik, my cousin sometimes. So you were always into, tech itself. So I thought it was just like adding more to your hobby.
Yeah.
To be honest. Didn't really think that it was going to turn into, what it is now.
Yeah.
So... It's pretty great.
Yeah, I always wanted it to be like that. I always wanted it because the thing is, course, it's a hobby, but I always knew that I wanted it to turn into a business. And the thing is, I always had these ideas. It's just that I just needed to get the items that I needed. Right. And that's the thing with content creating. It's like your path is only blocked by money. It's like
if you path is blocked by money when it comes to
many things, like
everything, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially when you have someone like me who's just constantly worrying about saving that extra dollar versus spending it on something that's not really bringing me profit yet. It was a really inner struggle for me when you're like, oh, I need this D32 and I need this D750 and I need this Rodecaster Pro. And I'm just like, not really seeing the profit yet, but not really thinking that, okay, to get to the profit, you have to spend on the equipment to, get better results with your shoots and your videos and such. So it was a really inner struggle for me to agree for you to spend the amount of money you spent in this very room right now.
Yeah.
That we're sitting in.
The wall itself was $500 almost to get the wood wall, the trees and all that. And now I'm going to be
for someone as cheap as me, that was just gotta be supportive. But damn it, you're spending a lot of money. But okay, I'm being supportive. Just support him and it'll turn out eventually. So yeah, that was my inner struggle. And a little bit. So, but I never seen it as something that can be, that can be turned into a profit one day and be like, okay, we're actually getting something back from all of the spending. And I'm like, oh, wow. All right. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always pretty much seen it like that way. I was like, okay, I'm going to get this and I can edit this and I can do this. Damn it, I can't do this type of work because I don't have this. I got to get that.
Yeah.
And then, I always get something that I can use till I get
multiple
the best.
Times.
Multiple times.
You would say that.
Like
that'd be like your selling pitch. You're I can get this and get this chair and use it at multiple angles.
Yeah.
And, have multiple use for it. And I'm like, yeah.
Yep, cutting the corners. Versus
spending money.
Now have the Rodecaster. Like before I had that, the one over there, the one that I got with Willie.
Yeah.
That works, but then I have to buy this cable, got to buy this to get phone calls, to get the Bluetooth. Now
it just works.
Now the Rodecaster just works. It just costs $600 versus $200. Like remember how I kept bringing the iMac downstairs to watch TV with you?
Yeah.
Like guys, I had
because I get lonely.
Because I wanted to buy a MacBook Pro, not just a MacBook Pro.
But the MacBook Pro.
A top-of-the-line i9, 16 gigs of RAM, 4 gig video card.
Specs.
MacBook Pro. And the only way I can get Alex to agree to have us buy it is I would take our 27-inch desktop, the 27-inch iMac, I'm bringing it downstairs and using it in the kitchen. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, you want to hang out and I have to edit some photos and videos for a client.
Yeah.
This is how it's going to work.
I mean, I could have come up here with you.
And I made that option a lot. Like I would say, let's just get a projector and project it here. And I made it comfortable.
This room is just, But here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like it's working out. What do you think?
I feel like it's working out.
And I'm trying to be less cheap about spending money.
And I'm trying to be more vigilant with spending money and not buying a bunch of random stuff.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, because I almost bought a monitor the other day, and I'm like,
I thank you for not buying that monitor the other day because I would have freaked.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about, and you know me, like, I don't just want something to want it. I want a specific thing to do a specific thing. I don't just want chicken and waffles. I want chicken and waffles because
all the time.
No, but I'm saying I don't just want that.
We'd be at some fancy ass restaurant. Do you have chicken and waffles?
No, Nicker. We do not sell that. I was like, do you have waffles? Yes, we do. Do you have chicken? Yes, we do. I would like to order waffles and I like to order chicken. Remember I did that at the top? I was like, what the hell? You do have chicken and waffles. the hell's
but
wrong
they had
with
to
you?
make the waffles separately and then bring you a slice of chicken.
Care. Do that shit.
A slice of grilled chicken.
Customer
like
service. Like I buy the things. I don't just buy one thing for one time.
You buy it for a purpose.
For a purpose, and I can use it in the future. Like,
believe me, I do get that, but it's just my brain. But like, you need to save that $1 instead.
Yeah, I'm not.
You need to save that
because you never
put that in the saving account. Put that in the saving account. I'd be like, I wouldn't say the only woman in the world, but one of the few women in the world that would just like see that extra quarter in our bank account. I'm like, do I want to buy this and that? I don't really need that. I'm just going to put in the savings account, you know? And you know that about me. Mm-hmm. I rather save than to spend. You know, we've had our Apple Watches, the very first gen.
Yeah, the first gen.
It's still working. Mm-hmm. To me, I've been like, I was thinking about
upgrading. I don't really see the point.
No, I'm just using that as a random example. I was thinking about getting the new one that just came out. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, but this one is still working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to reset it a couple of times, but that's just me. It works. I'm fine with it. I'd rather save than spend. And I have to like, with you, I feel like sometimes I have to get out of that comfort zone, just like let you do you and spend. Because, you know, this is what you do. And I don't want to be the one to get in the way of that just because I have an issue.
Yeah, it drove me crazy a month ago. I just was screaming constantly. I'm like, I just need this. And you're like, you don't. And then I'm like, you know what? You're right, I don't. And then I'll come back to my idealistic mind. Listen, you can't get this result if you don't have this. You need this thing. You need help. Like, you need to buy this thing because you know what it does. She doesn't live in this world, the content creator world.
Right.
You can try all you can explaining it, doing analogies.
You love your analogies.
Doing all these keynote speeches. She'll never understand it because that's not the type of thing she's interested in. So how about you just tell her flat out, hey babe, I need to get this Rodecaster Pro. You know? And yeah.
I feel like this segue into like everything photography.
Mm-hmm. This is like
what were we talking about before?
We were talking about the camera, like how it started it all. Oh. The $20 camera that pretty much started it.
I guess that's a moment.
Yeah, that was a moment.
But we didn't really continue from the first episode's moment because the first episode was like, hey, the beginning, wedding, blah, blah, blah. And then now we're talking about photography.
For like a whole hour. No, right. Not really.
I guess it's a moment. We're talking about how it affects us or your spending.
Yeah. And
how we're dealing with it.
Because a lot of people want to know because a lot of people don't realize that it's me and you. Like everything that I do. Like
everything you're spending. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm going back to spending. I'll stop. Everything you're achieving.
Mm-hmm. It goes back to you. Like all these things that I'm trying to grow, the networking, all that. The whole goal behind it is have Alex stay home all day and just chill. That's the ultimate goal.
Wow.
And travel and do the best that I can and just live sustainably. Like I still would love to work. I think we talked about that earlier.
We talk about that all the time.
I still would love to work a day job, like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, I love working in the lab. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I think earlier when we were at dinner,
Amy's.
I was saying that I would love to keep working at the lab just to be like, because I love working there, but I would go to work there knowing that I don't really have to be here, you know, kind of like something to do just to keep busy or whatever.
Yeah, I would like to work either at a public store or a photography store. I know you love
customer service.
Yeah,
so
customer service. Like I would love to work with people. Like but I have some people who like, oh, if I win the lotto, I'm never working with anybody again. That's not me.
That's not you. Yeah, you love the whole customer aspect.
Random conversations. I would love to work at a bike shop. I would love to work at a new place to learn a new skill. Like I would love to work at a coffee shop to learn how to make coffee.
I would love to just not work with people.
Yeah. And your job is perfect.
My job is perfect. Yeah, working in the lab at Publix is just, it's pretty great. Especially the shift that I work, I barely see anybody. I just do my job and call it a day.
Yeah.
Not to go into too many details, but yeah, it's not that I'm
like a lot of people. Another thing too, to going back to us, it's such a stark difference though. Like I'm such a people person.
You are,
and you're not.
It's weird. You can start a conversation with anybody, and just talk or listen to them talking. Mm-hmm. I'm like the complete opposite. I just want to get out of there. Like, okay, you are still talking. Oh, okay. I'm not zooming out. I'm listening, but I am zooming out and not listening.
Zoning out.
Oh?
You said zooming.
Zooming? Oh, shoot. Zoning?
Zoning.
I am zoning out and not listening. I try not to do that when I'm talking to people, but I really can't help it. I don't know if it's just I don't care. I don't know. It's just like everybody have their problems. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. But you can just talk like to anyone. Sometimes I'm like very envious about that, your ability to do that, you know. But other times it's like, yeah, I just want to stay home. I'm good. Anywho, it's my little 2 cents on that subject.
Yeah, I think about that difference all the time because
yeah, we are complete opposite when it comes to that.
You know, I end up meeting a lot of couples, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're into biking, you're into this and that, and oh my gosh, your wife must be so interesting." And I'll keep talking about you, and they're like, "Oh my, she sounds
it's kind of your fault
so
too.
Fun. She sounds so great." And then
I
would love to meet her, and then I'm like, "Yeah, she's not really a people person." Oh no, she'll love me. Nope, she's not a people person. Like she really is. You suffer from social anxiety, I would say.
I think that's it.
Like you really just shut down. And
I do.
And people are like, "Oh no, she would love me." Well, the fact that you say that frightens her. Like you just kind of are pushing her away when you say stuff like that.
It's not all the time though. Like when I wouldn't say tipsy or.
That's not healthy though, and that's not. You shouldn't need to be intoxicated and have a good time.
Not intoxicated. I just have 1 or 2 sip of alcohol,
that's not
and I'm
normal.
good.
But like I said, you suffer from the social anxieties, and I keep telling people that, and they're like, "Yeah, but she will love me." No, trust me. It's just.
I love you. That counts. Mm-hmm. Does that count?
I guess it does count.
I love Lola. Come here.
She's gonna bother the mic, love. Keep her down there. Stay. Okay. You want to wrap it up?
Sure.
Or you want to add some more stuff?
I want to. No, I feel like we really spent most of this time talking about photography and not really continuing from the first episode. So I think this episode could be like its own
thing.
Yeah.
But like I said, the photography is like a lot of people will want to know because it kind of affects me and you because when I'm taking these pictures, doing podcasts, doing vlogs.
You do a lot.
At the end of the day, I'm still a married black man.
Right.
With a black wife. And people are like, how is he doing all that when he has a wife at home?
I'm okay with it.
They want to know.
I love that you're out there doing all of that. Mm-hmm. I'd rather you do that than just sit out at home on the couch with me and want to talk all day. Not that I don't love those. I'm just like, okay, go.
Now
go and do that podcast and go and bike with Jake, lose that gut.
Now we're doing a podcast together, which is great. We'll see what becomes of this.
Yeah.
It's a nice 30-minute podcast, me and you.
Mm-hmm. Covering photography. From my point of view, which you spending all of our money. So to speak.
All right, babe. Let's go to bed. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening to our
Moments
podcast. I'm Gil and
I'm Alex.
And we're married.
Are we?
Yes.
You hesitated.
I did not.
You did.
All right, y'all. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for the next episode. Bye.